Hi, welcome. My name is Diane Kovanda, and this is Yoga Talk. And with me today are Linda Diaz and Michele Sheridan. And the two of you, between you, you have over 50 years of experience working with special populations, children and adults with disabilities. And I was hoping that you could share a little bit about your work and the kind of yoga classes that you teach. Michele, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you do?
We teach yoga to individuals, both adults and children, with a variety of disabilities, both within a day program or within their homes, within their individual homes, with group homes. And we modify the classes based on the needs of the individuals. We have come up with our May I Be Me yoga.
I love that name.
It came from modifying the metta meditation at the end of classes with the individuals I teach. We will do a metta meditation, but it's a little bit modified. It's may I be happy, may I be free, may I have peace, and may I be me. And that's where the name of it came from. And that's where we started.
And the two of you sometimes teach alone to a individual or a class, or sometimes you teach together. Linda, will you tell us a little bit about it too?
Sure. The teaching that I do is primarily within the program where I work. It's a day habilitation program, so there's a wide range of ages, all adults, also a wide range of physical abilities. So we have some chair classes, wheelchair classes where people are seated, and we have some classes where the students are standing, or some of it's on the mat. And it's tailored to their needs, so a lot of individualized instruction within the small groups.
How do you appeal and teach to people with sensory disabilities?
You really have to know your audience. We get together with either their families or their caregivers and find out a little bit about each person first so that we know what specific needs they have, what their communication styles are, and sometimes how they learn and what they like as well. So we work on the classes based on the information we get, plus the information that we get from getting to know the individuals personally. And that's really how we gather information to structure a class. In much the same way that you would a typical yoga class, you look at your audience and you see your audience, your class, and you decide based on what you see how far to go, how high to go, how low to go, and it's just a little bit more specific with these individuals.
Any tips, Linda, that you have?
Well, like we were saying, the most important tip is first to see and know your audience, and then from what you see and know of them, being able to trust your intuition, and going back to our skills as yoga teachers, knowing that there needs to be, for example, short centerings, because a lot of space may be a time where people can kind of wander and get off track. So having the structure of the class, having the boundaries of the class, and having it be a safe space for people to practice.
And I know the two of you are never fazed by whatever happens in your class. Things are said, shouted, people walk away, and I know that the two of you are both really steady. Like nothing ever flusters you.
We work a lot on remembering where we are, being mindful and being present with the individuals that we teach. I work with a group of young women in their group home, and they like to chat and talk and converse. So we have a few minutes of greetings at first and then a few minutes at the end. But whenever anything comes up during a yoga class that is really outside of yoga, I just give a cue, what are we doing right now? And all the young women now will say, we're doing yoga right now, Michele, and they come right back to the lesson. So what I've kind of learned with that is to help the individuals be present and be mindful in much the same way that we do with ourselves. We started off with maybe 2 to 3 minutes of yoga per class, and now after 2.5 years, we're up to about 25 minutes of a steady improvement in attending, in paying attention and being mindful. So it's been really successful. And a lot of praise for what the individuals do, what they try to do.
Right.
And some people need specific praise. If you ask them to raise their hands up or their arms up in the air, follow that up with, great, your hands are up. So they know that that's what they've done. and that seems to really be helpful as well.
Anything that, Linda, that you've experienced, maybe to either of you, have you seen progress with folks getting into their yoga class, or shifts in people as they've been doing yoga with you?
I had an individual that needed medication for a medical procedure and was very physically limited, and so we focused on breathing. And what she got out of it was that when she had to have the procedures following the practice with yoga and the yogic breathing, was that she didn't need the medication that she needed before to get through the procedure.
That's
So
amazing.
that was amazing.
What kind of breathing did you teach her?
The 3-part yogic breath. She was able to read, so one of the things that we try to do with our classes is give a takeaway. So I gave her a card, laminated card that she could keep on her wheelchair so that the staff at home could learn how to do it as well. So she would practice it at home. And she came back and told me that the staff had been working with her, and she went for her procedure and came back and needed no meds.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So great. Michele, have you experienced anything?
I have. I work with my group of young women again, and at the very beginning, there was one woman in the group who would see me coming and say hi and then say no, 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 and run down to her room. And so we just let her go, and the rest of the group and I started, and over time, she would still say no, but I would, open my eyes, and there she'd be with her mat rolled up in front of us doing what everybody else was doing, happily, still saying no maybe, but now laughing and joining in and doing a good job. The breathing exercises are really important for individuals that have difficulty behaviorally. Breathing deeply and thoroughly and completely helps them calm themselves. So we've had individuals who previously might have difficulty in certain situations. They've learned how to breathe, as Linda said with her young man. They've been able to breathe their way through things and be successful with it. So it really helps them in that area, and that really is the same way that it helps us. So really our individuals want to be part of the world, and they are, and they should be, and all of the techniques and tips that we give them in yoga helps them be more able to join in. And they enjoy it, they're happy, they're proud of themselves. It's good.
And I think anybody can benefit from a little bit of calming and being able to use breath or stretch to self-regulate.
They're able to take it back to their friends too. They go back to their groups and they try to teach these breathing exercises to some of the other individuals that they know that we may not see. So that gives them a sense of accomplishment in helping others as well.
Thank you. Anything else you wanted to add, either of you, before we wrap up?
I think one of the things that Michele and I have taught classes together and that we've been able to draw from the students is a sense of when people are struggling versus striving. We had an individual that was, again, physically compromised, trying to go from being on the mat to standing, and it took quite a while for him to get up. But if you're, again, knowing your individuals and noticing some of the affect, you really want people to be able to do as much as they can because they get so much out of it rather than jumping in to help people get up.
Right.
So that's something that I took away from
And just
class.
slowing down and taking extra time. Sometimes what goes in takes time to process, to come back out. So you may give an instruction either verbally or through physical demonstration, but it takes time for people to think about it, watch you, and reproduce it. So when we give that time, they're able to do, as Linda said, on their own, either poses or breathing exercises that maybe you would have thought that they couldn't do. So it's really slowing down.
I love how you said earlier that you have fun together.
It is fun.
And sometimes yoga classes can be so deadly serious in the world out there in studios. Sometimes they're just so intense and serious.
Fun.
And I know you all have a lot of fun.
We do animal noises when we're doing animal poses, and that's not always something that is my favorite thing to do, but with these individuals, it's a blast. It's really great. They love the noises, and then it helps the breathing too.
And you do things like, I saw in another demonstration, you did tree, and you really make it relatable, right? Or lion, you make the noise. It people can get that.
It's concrete.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
concrete. Break down the poses into really small, manageable pieces as well. Sometimes a more difficult pose is possible, but you just start by sitting there, and then you move one arm, then you move the other arm, then you lift up one leg, lift the other leg. So you really structure it so that people are successful and build on each step that they learn as they learn it.
So the challenge is still there, but at the end of the class, you walk away feeling like, hey, I did something.
Yep, we do every time.
Yeah.
And we make sure to end the class on a positive note always.
And I love that you give them a takeaway.
And they love the namaste. That's a very popular. They love to be able to do the hands together, palms, hands to heart, and they remember namaste. And I usually have a few that will shout it out. Now we remember ahead of time. Keep it calm and gentle, but they do it. It works. But
Makes
they like
me want to shout out namaste.
I know. But they love being part of that, so that's a really good ending. And so
Yeah.
now they're taking part. I turn that over to them and let them end the class too. And that works well.
Thank you. That's
Welcome.
great. Thanks for sharing, and I hope you come back.
Thanks for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having us.